30-pound woman. Okay, so we've got you back in you're in your backyard now, and you're looked about. You kind of evaluated all the possible soft spots you could deposit your wife. You've evaluated each one of them. You've worked down your mind into the possible list of responses and decided, well, heck, I don't need to necessarily throw her against the fence this time. So you're going to, what have you decided now? This has all occurred in what, about 10 minutes? You've had to think about these things and pause and consider? 5 minutes? 5 seconds?
Probably from what kind of time frame are you looking at? Describe.
I'm just trying to find out. You're sitting here dragging your wife about, hobbling about the backyard apparently, trying to find a really good spot in which to put her to earth. How long did this take? You know, you're trying to think of all these wonderful things. You've already decided, bless your heart, that you're not going to use extreme physical force on her at this point, unless she does something really drastic, which we don't know. So what? How long has this taken? 5 seconds. You've just gotten in. You've just gotten through the fence door. How much time has it been between that point and the point where you decide where you're going to put her and what kind of physical response you're going to use?
I had not decided what kind of a physical response I was going to use. Had not resolved how to deal with the situation entirely. Had the final response. I just wanted to go to a safe place so that Mrs. Funk wouldn't be hurt.
At least as far as you could determine.
I wanted to go to a safe place where Mrs. Funk would not be hurt.
As far as you can determine. We've already established that you don't take her to the doctor when you use force upon her. So you never know if you've actually hurt her or not.
At this point, there's no indication that she has either suffered any injuries, and I was trying to prevent any such injuries.
Ah, you're so kind, Mr. Funk. Your thoughtfulness would be appreciated by the jury.
There was no point, given my size and strength difference, there is no point. It is, in fact, my responsibility to try and resolve the situation without injury to either party.
Now, would that include,
do the best I could do.
Include without using any kind of physical force? Isn't one possible response in that situation you could have just simply let go of the folder? You're now looking at, aren't you looking at a situation, Mr. Funk, where you're now contemplating the possibility of using physical force? You're now you have just stated that you want to resolve the situation in such a way so she doesn't have injury, which means, at least to my interpretation, that you're looking at a situation where the possibility of injury exists.
Yes.
Wasn't one possibility at that point, the best possibility at that point, to avoid any prospect of injury, simply to let go of the folder and let her go on her way?
No.
Why not?
Because immediately Beverly would have fallen and probably hurt herself.
Isn't that your assumption?
That was my judgment based on my experience.
Based on your experience, you often wrestle if you act in the backyard? You often wrestle with people in the backyard?
It was my judgment when we were out in the carport that it was not a safe place to simply let go of the folder because it was likely that Beverly would fall. And that is concrete. Couldn't you just
simply have said to Beverly, I'm going to let go of the folder now. You can have it. Wouldn't that have worked?
Yes.
Would she have fallen then?
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe not. At least you would have given her warning. Why couldn't you just simply speak to her and say, this is ridiculous, dear?
Because it still would have not have handled the situation of her taking the kids and away from me.
Was that preferable to risk injuring your wife? Was that the better course to take at this point?
I was taking steps to do both avoiding any injury to her and to keep the kids with
and to keep possession of her documents in your possession also.
No, these were documents that were relating to the children. I had no objection to her documents.
You'd had time to while you were dragging your wife around the backyard, you had time to flip through the folder and examine all the documents?
No, I had looked through the documents while I was in the car.
Oh, while the car door was slammed excruciating against your ribs?
Before the car was slammed.